listening to Her Profit Era, the podcast for founders who want a business that actually works. A business that's profitable, predictable, and pays them well. I'm Cindy Kumar, a CPA, a fractional CFO from Abbotsford, BC, Canada. I'm the person founders call when they're tired of high revenue months with no money left over. I started this podcast because too many founders were chasing sales while their margins, cash flow, and bank accounts told a completely different story. I believe profit and money in the bank is the standard, not a bonus, and that every founder deserves clarity around their numbers. Each week, you'll get real financial strategy you can actually use and honest conversations with founders and industry experts about what it really takes to build a business that lasts. Happy New Year! Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Our Profit Era. I hope everyone had a good holiday, had time to rest and recharge. Now, why am I changing things up in Season 2? Well, Season 1 was the warm-up. I was really just trying to get comfortable behind the mic, get better at speaking, figuring out what the podcast should sound like, learning what I should talk about, what founders actually want to hear, and just giving myself permission to take up space as a financial voice. So Season 1 was just all about figuring things out. I got to over 100 episodes, and I'm super excited for Season 2 because I feel like it's more intentional, more strategy. I see the long-term vision of Her Profit Era. Because here's what I've seen over the last year working inside real businesses. Founders are making money and still don't feel in control. Everyone's showing their Stripe screenshots, but the reality is there's never money left over and nothing in the bank. The revenue's there, but the stability isn't. The sales are there, but the bank account does not reflect it. The effort's there, people are working hard, but the clarity is missing. And a lot of people are silently panicking about money, even when the outside world thinks they're doing amazing based on their highlight reels and their screenshots. So Season 2 exists to actually fix that problem. This is where we stop operating from stress. This is where we stop guessing. This is where founders finally understand their numbers in a way that it actually feels simple and actually moves the needle. Because a lot of time people are just consuming content for the sake of consuming it, but they're not actually taking action. So my goal with the podcast is to give you simple tools and resources that you can actually implement in your business and become more confident with your numbers. So I didn't create this podcast for entertainment. I didn't create it for the sake of just creating something. I created it because I kept seeing the same pattern over and over again. High revenue, low profit, no cash flow, no paying yourself, and a ton of shame behind the scenes. People were hitting milestones that looked impressive, but financially, nothing was adding up. I work with real business founders every single day. I'm talking about spas, studios, creators, med spa owners, tattoo artists, makeup artists, wedding planners, consultants, you name it. And the story is almost always the same, regardless of what industry they're in or what their revenue numbers look like. They're working hard, they're selling, they're growing, but they have no idea how much money is coming in, how much is going out, or what's even left over. And no one's openly talking about this. We all want to share our revenue numbers, our milestones, all the things we're doing, but no one wants to talk about the reality of what's going on with their money. Her Profit Era exists because founders deserve someone who tells them the truth about money. And that's my goal. That's my job. I want to stop sugarcoating revenue numbers, and talk about actual profit and what's in the bank account. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. Your coaches, people that you work with, everyone's showing their Stripe screenshots. And that's the reason why a lot of people work with the coaches that they do. But the reality is, if you ask those same people what's in their bank account, what's left over in profits, it would be crickets. Because likely they're in debt or they're spending everything that they're making. So don't believe everything you see online. So her profit era exists because founders deserve someone who tells them the truth. Not fluff, not buzzwords, also not just manifest more clients, manifest more money, because it doesn't work like that. You can manifest, you can say all the affirmations, but if you're not looking at your bank account, you're not looking at your monthly finances for your business, then nothing's going to work. You're not going to have more money by just manifesting things. And that's the reality. You need to think about actual financial leadership, actual clarity, and actual strategy. So here's the truth. Revenue does not make you successful. Profit does. Money in the bank does. Revenue is loud, and you'll see it all over social media and in the online industry. But profit is quiet. Revenue gets you applause. Profit pays your bills. You can have a 7-figure business and still feel broke. Let's say, for example, you made $1 million in sales, but you spent $900,000 to get there. You can have a 6-figure business and feel safe, secure, and calm. I've worked with founders that are doing $500K in revenue, but they've been able to keep $250K in the bank. So it doesn't matter what the sales number is. I'll never be impressed by your sales number. What matters is your margins, your cash flow, your expenses, how much you're actually paying yourself, and what you're actually doing with that money. Are you investing in assets? Or are you selling your time for money? Like, what does that look like? Your ability to make decisions without spiraling. That's why this podcast exists. Because nobody tells founders that sales mean nothing if you don't keep any of it. That's the sad reality that nobody's talking about. Your real power is in your bank account, not your Stripe screenshot. So why should you listen to her profit era? Well, if you're a founder who makes good money but never feels caught up, you want to understand your financial picture without shame. You want to stop weighing it with financial decisions. You want to stop being scared to check your bank account. You want to build a business that actually supports your life, that you can build as an asset, maybe sell one day or pass it down to the next generation. You want clarity, not confusion. You want confidence. You don't want chaos in your life. So this is not a hype podcast. It's not a sell more podcast either. It's not a surface level business show where I'm just sharing what has worked for me and just giving you surface level advice, because that's not what I'm about. So this podcast is for margins, cash flows, spending leaks, return on investment, pricing, how to pay yourself, forecasting. It's real financial literacy for founders and businesses that you have never been provided before. And on top of that, you'll hear from real entrepreneurs and industry experts, people who've built something from the ground up, made mistakes, figured things out, and have the numbers to back it up. For example, I've already done this in season 1. I had Robin and Monica from Mint Cleaning. I also had Jamie from Black Harbor, Amanda from Parched Floral. I'm trying to bring more entrepreneurs into the show so you can see what it looks like actually being in business for 10 years, focusing on one thing, and actually building a business that can sell. No gimmicks, no highlight reels, just the truth about what it takes to actually build a real, long-lasting business. Season 2 is built to give you an unfair advantage. So here's what's coming. I'm still releasing episodes every single Wednesday, but I'll also have guest episodes released every Friday. So I'm hoping that you'll get 2 episodes every single week, depending on the number of guests that I have, but you'll still get the episodes every single Wednesday. I'm going to be recording solo CFO episodes where I break down the financial side of business with simple, practical explanations founders can actually use. I'll have real founder interviews, not influencers, not coaches, not fake entrepreneurs. Real founders with real businesses and real lessons. Real founders that have built their businesses like assets, and the goal is to exit or they have exited. You'll also hear from industry experts, marketing, leadership, branding, PR, systems, but it's always going to be tied back to your numbers and growth. I'll also be sharing the behind the scenes of my own business, what I'm working on, what's working for me, and how you can implement the same type of strategies. I'm also going to be sharing what I'm testing, what I'm changing, what I'm fixing, and learning as a fractional CFO and tax advisor building my own firm. I'll also be sharing tools you can use immediately. So questions, metrics, frameworks, and decision-making tools that help you stop worrying and start leading. So season 2 is where clarity meets confidence, where strategy meets simplicity, where founders finally get the financial education they've always needed, but have never gotten. Now, if you're tired of feeling like you're constantly playing catch up, if you're making money but still feeling pressure, if you want your business to stop draining you and start supporting you, you're in the right place. This is your profit era. If you're a founder who wants real strategy, not noise, and you want someone in your corner helping you build a business that feels aligned, is profitable, and actually supports your life, you can apply for CFO on Call. This is my one-on-one financial partnership for established founders, typically making between $500K to $2 million, who want clarity, who want structure and confidence with their numbers. The link is in the show notes so you can schedule a profit strategy call, or you can DM me CFO on Instagram at @CindyKumar and I'll send over all the details.